Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am here to recap You, Me, and My Ex. This is episode 6, Ex-pect the Unexpected. If you watched my last video I just uploaded, which was a review of Love After Lockup, it was messy, it was rough, and I apologize. And I'll probably apologize again on the next Love After Lockup video because maybe people don't watch both of these reviews, but I'm feeling a little more energized today. I'm kind of embarrassed, but you know, it is what it is sometimes. You get what you get, but I'm really trying to give some good quality content here. So let's jump into it. We have 3 couples to go over. I'll start with Alex and Caroline. They had sort of the shorter segment that was more straightforward and not so complicated and convoluted like the other couples. So anyhow, it is Valentine's Day for Alex and Caroline. Alex, you know, says that with all the drama that they've had to endure with both of their families, he just wants to focus on Caroline and their relationship. So he kind of goes the whole 9 yards. He has balloons, flowers, gifts for her. He buys her jewelry, a nice little necklace. And he also hires a private chef to come and cook them dinner, which I would love. I would love if someone would do that for me. And Caroline is excited too. You know, they sit down, the chef makes them a nice steak. They're having a little conversation. You know, Alex is joking that he's gonna buy Caroline's mom a tracksuit. You know, he's showing her like, do you think she'd like this one, this one? It's a funny, cute moment until, you know, as he's on the iPad, ring, 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 Steven calls. And of course, Alex answers, you know, and it's like, hey, Steven, what's up? Happy Valentine's Day. What's going on? I mean, and you can see that Caroline's annoyed. She's kind of like rolling her eyes, like, really? And it's true. I mean, I get that Alex and Steven are friends, but it's Valentine's Day. Why are you calling your ex? Yeah, I get he's your friend, but he's also your ex-boyfriend, your ex-lover, who you cheated on and jilted. Can we give him a day just to be with his new partner, his new girlfriend? No. So, you know, Alex is kind of like, hey, you know, do you want to join us? He sets up the iPad at the table, like, have dinner with us. I mean, I think it's not very long, you know, maybe a few minutes, and then he kind of like, I think, sees that Caroline's annoyed, so he's like, all right, you know, we're gonna let you go, talk to you later, bye. And he hangs up. And Caroline asks Alex, you know, don't you think like it's time for him to maybe find his own Valentine, find somebody new, maybe, you know, find new friends, you know? And Alex, it kind of just looks at her like, really, you know? And Alex tells the camera that, you know, Steven doesn't have a lot of genuine friends. And so, you know, he would hate to abandon him as a friend because then he'd be left with nobody. I'm not trying to be like, you know, immature and tit for tat, but this is the guy who like broke your heart. Why such a loyalty to him? I don't get it. And also he mentioned that, you know, when they were together and they would go out, people just flocked to Steven, and he was just so flirty with them, you know, didn't even care that Alex, his boyfriend, was standing right there. So it seems to me like Steven should have no problem finding new friends and drawing new people in if that's his personality, right? I don't know. So, you know, Caroline tells the camera on her end that she thinks it's time that she has a conversation with Alex about, you know, his friendship with Steven. So I guess maybe a few days later, she goes out on a girls' night dinner and talks with her friends and lets them know what's going on. And they all agree, just as I do, just as you do, that maybe, yeah, it's a bit much. Why is an ex calling so often every day? That's not really cool and a little inappropriate and not necessary. And they all kind of have a problem with it. Like, yeah, well, why don't you seem to see the problem, Caroline? But she does. But I think she's trying to be really understanding, and I can appreciate that. But sometimes you got to draw a line. That's what I say. So I guess the next day, you know, they're at the apartment hanging out, and Alex asks how her girls' night out went. Did they get crazy? Girls Gone Wild? And she says, no, we just had like a quiet dinner. But as a matter of fact, like, your name came up, actually the topic of you and your friendship with Steven. And he's just like, oh, really? And instead of just owning it that she's annoyed and bothered, she kind of puts it on her friends, telling Alex, that, you know, they feel like, yeah, Steven's too involved. He calls too much. It's kind of weird. It's kind of crazy. So at first, Alex, his reaction is just like, well, it's not their business. Like, I really don't care what other people think. You know, it's their opinions. Doesn't really factor in. But, Caroline sort of kind of owns, that she agrees with them. She doesn't expect Alex to cut Steven off. She's not trying to tell him who to be friends with, but yeah, maybe we can just, how about some boundaries? Like maybe he call once a week, like I've been saying, like maybe he doesn't have to cut him off completely, although I think he should. How about we just curtail all the calls? I mean, on Valentine's Day even, like we can't even get one day, one holiday. Anyway, so Alex sees her point. He sees that she's, bothered. He's just surprised, because for 2 years, it never bothered her before. Well, it bothers her now. So he tells her, nothing's more important than you. If this is really, an issue, I'm going to put you first, and, boundaries. I can certainly do that. I can have a talk with Steven and, go from there. He's just, to the camera, says he's just kind of worried of how Steven is going to take this, new sort of take on their friendship. Well, he'll have to deal with it. And if he's your friend and he really supports you in your relationship, he'll understand and give you space. Or not. I guess we'll wait and see. So they're going to meet up next week. I think we're finally going to get to see Steven in person because he's always just on the FaceTime cell phone. So we'll see what happens then. We'll get to it then. Let's move on to the next couple. Jessica, Jerry, and Kayla Vay. Okay, let me just start off by saying I really think this is sort of not scripted, but it's a setup. It's a really fake storyline to me. There might be a little underlining truths here, like yes, Jessica and Jerry are exes. Yes, he got sick. Yes, Jessica had to move back and help take care of him. Yes, maybe Jerry and Kayla Vay went on a handful of dates before he got sick, but that's pretty much it. Like I don't think they had bonded enough for her to like move in with him and really get to know him. Like because I really don't even see a lot of chemistry between Kay and Jerry, if you ask me. And I doubt that they even really got it on at the cabin while they were alone. I think it was just for cameras. She did her little sexy striptease, they took a bubble bath, and then they probably, he slept on the couch. Like I just don't see it. But for the sake of this recap, we're gonna pretend that it's real. But it's not, I don't think. So Jerry and Kayla Vay returned from the cabin and they both said that they had a great time. Jerry hasn't been treated in such a way in such a long time. And Kayla Vay just wants to keep the momentum going that they kind of got generated the night before. We have Jessica's take on the evening, and she loved that they were gone. She loved the peace. She loved the quiet. She didn't realize like how much she just needed that downtime. Well, Jessica, you can have it every night of your life. All you got to do is move out and get your own place. And I don't understand why you don't. Oh, that's right, because you're filming a show. Okay, anyway, so when they get back, Jerry goes to check in with Jessica, like, hey, how was everything? Fine. How was your night? Good. And, Jerry tells her, like, well, now that everybody's kind of had breathing room, maybe the two of you can kind of start getting along. And Jessica just shuts that shit down. Like, no, I don't think we're ever going to get along because, we're too dissimilar. Like, she's not my type of chick. Like, and to be honest, like, I don't really think she loves you. Of course she doesn't love Jerry. She's just still getting to know him. Like, what does Jessica expect? And by the way, like, nobody asked for your opinion. I didn't hear Jerry ask, but she loves to give it. And what we learned here in this episode is that basically Kayla Vay is a trigger for Jessica because while Jessica and Jerry were married, he cheated on her a few times. And Kayla Vay reminds Jessica of all the women he cheated on her with, which she says were young, immature, didn't really respect that he had a family. Well, Jerry didn't even respect that he had a family or a wife. And it's one of those situations that I hate where the woman, puts all the blame on the woman and not on the husband, not at all. So she has this sort of misdirected anger placed on Kay, who hasn't really done anything, but just be there. I mean, Jerry is single now. Kay isn't, intruding on a marriage, but yet, yeah, Jessica's just being a total bitch because Kay reminds her of those other women. And it's not really fair. I mean, if this were real, but I mean, there probably is truth to that though. I mean, I'm sure Jessica probably has a lot of resentment and hurt and bitterness regarding that, possibly, being cheated on. And now she's living in a house with her ex-cheater, and she's having to like take care of him and be around his new girlfriend. I mean, Jessica, I feel like you need to get out, find you a man, get laid, and you'll be a whole lot, you'll be in a whole lot better frame of mind. Anyway, now that they're back and they had a great night, Kayla Bay seems to think that they can now sleep in the same bed together. So she brings it up to Jerry. They're like eating lunch at the dining room table. And so she asks him like, so, you know, the sleeping arrangements, can we like renegotiate the contract where everybody's sleeping? And so he's looking at her like, so you want to like sleep in my room? And she's like, yeah. And at this point, the daughter, I don't know what her name is, Ariana or something like that. She walks in, and so Jerry's like, oh, hey, daughter, like, how are you? Okay, good to see you. And so he looks back at Kayla Bay like, so you want to sleep in my room? We can do that. Yeah, like that'd be fine. And so Kay's like excited, you know, she's finally won a battle. But then Jerry looks at his daughter like, hey, daughter, I'm sorry, I don't remember her name. Hey, daughter, do you want to do like a camp out in the basement with me for the next few days? And Kayla Bay's going to go to my room. And the daughter gets all excited like, yeah, that sounds good. And Kayla Bay's like, record scratch. Like, what did he just say? Like, she's confused. Like, she thought she won this battle, but no, not even close. She's just confused. Like, you know, she sees or considers Jerry a boyfriend, and she's the girlfriend, and she's trying to like have this boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, and he just keeps cutting her off at the pass. And it's like these like starts and stops, and she doesn't get it, you know. Jessica overhears this, and she doesn't like this arrangement at all. Like later that evening, Jerry's setting up, you know, the air mattress in the basement so he can do like camp out with the daughter. You know, the daughter's there helping out. Jessica comes down, sends the daughter away. She has to have a talk with Jerry and essentially tells him like, you're not really serious about this. Like, you're not gonna really sleep down here. Like, your health, it's not good for your health. You know, the doctor would agree, like, you need a good night's sleep, and you know, this is gonna be stressful. But Jerry's like stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, what can he do? He's trying to, you know, please his girlfriend, appease his wife. Like, what he already said Kay could sleep there. He can't take it back. And so he's just like, you know, well, what else can I do? Like, and she tells him like, go have a conversation with Kay and like, you know, kind of send her back to the basement and you go sleep in your bed because your health, you know. Kay overhears the conversation and walks in like, hey guys, like what's going on? Like what's happening? What's the problem? And Jessica puts on her best passive aggressive, you know, Kay, I don't think you understand, like, this isn't a good sleeping setup for Jerry. It's not good for his health. You don't understand. Like, when he got sick and he went into the hospital, he almost died. We almost lost him. And, you know, it was very traumatizing for the family. And now all of our focus and energy is just keeping him well and keeping him healthy. And I think you just need to be the bigger person and sleep down here and let him have his bed. Like, it's really the only option. And Kay's like, no, there's another option. He could sleep with me in the bed if he wanted to. Like, that's an option. But, you know, Jerry to the camera tells us that, you know, he's just, you know, he's kind of surprised that Kay just assumed when she would move in that they would be sleeping in the same bed. Like, that was never going to happen. Well, maybe you should have told Kayla Bay that before you invited her. She's under the impression that she's moving in with her boyfriend. And she's not. She is 100% a guest in this house, if you ask me. So as a guest in this house, I should get a bed and you should accommodate me. Or I say there's a third option. Jessica, if you are so concerned with Jerry's health, then you give him your bed and you sleep on the air mattress. We can explore that option, but of course Jessica would never do that or offer that, you know, because she doesn't owe Kay anything and Kay doesn't owe Jessica anything. She only really owes conversation and consideration to, you know, Jerry, if that, you know. So Kayla Bay is like, you know what, well, those are the options. He can sleep with me, he can sleep down here, and I'm just gonna keep going about my day like I have been and ignore you. You know, she's over Jessica. I'm over Jessica. Like, you know, then the thing is, I was watching somebody's review, I forget her name, I came across it. She's not somebody who like pops up, and I watched her review, and she made this point in that, you know, you automatically, because Jessica's older and she, is the ex-wife and the mother, like you want to root for her and be on her side, but you just can't because she just makes it impossible with this attitude that she has. And like I mentioned before in my previous reviews, I don't know if this is how she really is or she's being extra for the camera, but it's just not a good look to me. Anyway, Kayla Bay leaves the room and Jerry and Jessica still kind of hang out there and commiserate. Kayla Bay calls her friend to just kind of vent, like, you're not going to believe what's happening now. And she tells her, like, yeah, like, he put me in the closet, he put me in the basement. Now that I'm in his room, he doesn't want to sleep with me. He wants to go to the basement, but the ex-wife doesn't want him there. Like, it's a big old mess. And the friend's just like, I don't get it. Like, why is he trying to hide you? Like, why is he treating you, so poorly? Like, you're his girlfriend, right? He's your boyfriend. Like, why isn't he sticking up for you? And this kind of really hits home for Kayla Bay, and she starts getting emotional. Like, yeah, I don't know why. Because it's true. Like, Jessica has Jerry by the balls. He's not standing up for Kayla Bay the way a boyfriend should. I get that he should and needs to be respectful to Jessica, but this is your house and you got to take a stand. But he just plays the middle. Like I said, no balls. Jessica has them real tight. And so the friend asks Kayla Bay, like, do you need me to come pick you up? And Kate, very, emotionally, through tears, tells the friend, like, yes, come pick me up. Good. Because I think Kay could do so much better. This is such bullshit. Kay, for her high-pitched screaming and her kind of like, her interesting way of phrasing things, fact of the matter is, I don't even know how she says it, but she seems like a sweet girl. She wants to be a good girlfriend. She wants to be accommodating to everybody. She, I think, has sort of been the bigger person. She has tried to reach out to Jessica and ask her, how are you feeling? How are you doing? Only to get Jessica's, like, little looks and sort of brush off. So, I mean, she's done all that she can. So she goes back to the basement where Jessica and Jerry are kind of like on the couch. And she tells Jerry, like, hey, Jerry, my mom's going to come pick me up. And Jerry asks, like, what? You're leaving? Like, no. And Jessica looks at Jerry and says, she's just trying to get a reaction out of you. She's just manipulating you. Like, this is just a manipulation. And Kayla Bay looks at Jessica and is just like, no, bitch. Manipulation is what you do. Like, that is not what I'm doing here. Like, I've kind of had enough. And, I don't appreciate your attitude. And I'm out of here. Like, and, just to let you know, you are always going to, like, block Jerry's happiness. Like, you are always going to basically be the cock block. You're always going to get in the way. He's never going to find happiness, and that is all on you. And, Jessica's just like, what? I don't think so. Like, no, I don't think so. Like, no, but it's true. I mean, there is some truth to that. I mean, if this is what's really going on here. And so, Jerry's just like, I really don't want you to leave, but, I don't want to make my wife uncomfortable. Again, just like Switzerland, like, make up your mind. Like, if you really want Kay to stay, then be like, no, do not leave. We will work this out. It is fine. Jessica, I'll be fine. I can sleep down here for a few nights. But he's not. Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he is really that into her. I think he was attracted to her. I don't even, it's not real though. It's not real. So, Kayla Bay can see that he's kind of just flip-flopping, and she's like, whatever. Like, good night. I'm out of here. Bye. She leaves the room, but I think she's kind of hanging out nearby, eavesdropping, because then, Jessica's just like, see, it proves my point. Like, she does not love you. She does not care about you. I'm like, love? Like, why are we throwing love in there? Like, no, I don't think anybody loved this. Jerry loved Kayla Bay. I doubt it. But she's telling, like, if she was really concerned about your health, it wouldn't be a big deal, and she doesn't care. And Kayla Bay hears and comes back and like, excuse me, stop right there. Do not say that I do not care and I do not love him. And Jerry, don't you let her say that about me. Like, were we not together last night? All the things I did for you, how I took care of you, like, that's because I cared about you. Like, do not put words into my mouth. And Jessica's like, I never said you said that you didn't care. I'm just saying, like, that it's how it seems. And she's like, well, don't talk about me. Don't talk about me. Don't say my name. Don't, like, try to infer what you think I feel like I'm. And now, like, Jessica's just like, I'm over it, bitch. Like, no, you're not going to do it. And, Jessica's very just like, whatever. Like, she's not going to let Kay see that she's, like, getting to her, which it's a tactic that I'm not mad at. But, it only, like, infuriates Kay more the way Jessica just kind of just like dismisses her. And that's kind of where it ends. You know, they're just kind of going back and forth and not really getting anywhere. I'm pretty sure she's going to leave next week. And yeah, Jessica ran her off. Totally ran her off. I mean, if this was real. If this was real. And if this was real, I'd say, Kay, you are better off leaving. They, you know, again, if this was real, have some sort of dysfunctional relationship where she's still, you know, like any woman he's going to bring in is going to bring up bad feelings of the past. He still has this sort of, I don't know, guilt to having cheated on her. He feels bad about it, so he's still got to placate her. Like, they need to not live together. They really, or just be together. Jerry and Jessica should just be together again. Like, get back together, work it out. It's what you want anyway, and be done with it. So that was it for them. We'll see Kay leave next week. And I don't know, are we getting close to like the final episodes? I don't know. You guys let me know. Let me know what you think. Let's move on to the last couple. April and Roy, they are the exes. April is now with John, her new husband. He has re-proposed to her so they can have a big wedding celebration, okay? April, she to me is like the least likable person on this show, with Jessica coming in at a close second. And the thing is, I can't really quite put my finger on what is so bothersome about April. Maybe you guys in the comments, what do you guys think of April? Okay, so if you remember the last time we saw them, April informed Roy that John has re-proposed. They're gonna have a big wedding and she wants Roy to be there and be a part of it. And he is having no part of it and he left. Well, she says the next day she woke up to text messages from him that said something to the effect of, you know, you ruined my life. You've ruined me for all other women because you threw me out like a bag of trash. He then got on a plane to California and she has not heard from him since. Who he knows in California, what he's doing in California, I have no idea, but he's gone. And she's just really, she's hurt, you know. It doesn't feel good when he says those kind of things, obviously, you know, because he's her best friend. You know, watch the show and take a shot every time she says Roy is her best friend. You'll get a good buzz going. Anyway, now she needs to tell her other best friend, Lauren, who is John, her new husband's ex-wife. She needs to let her know that John has re-proposed and they're planning a big wedding. She's been keeping it a secret. So Lauren comes over and she just tells her like, oh, you know, I have something to share. You know, John re-proposed to me. We're going to have a big wedding and wait for it. Like, I want you to be in it. I want you to be my maid of honor because you are my person. Like, you are my best friend. And I'm looking at the screen thinking, Lauren, your husband's ex-wife is your person? Like, you don't have a sister, a friend, a cousin, your daughter. Like, your husband's ex-wife is your person. Okay. Like I said, it's an odd show. But Lauren is like just so touched. And yes, of course I'll be your maid of honor. Lauren doesn't see anything weird about it. It's not strange to her. Maybe it's not. Like maybe it's me. Like maybe it's just strange to me. Again, you guys let me know. Is this strange to you? Like I don't. Anyway, she gives like a box to Lauren, like a little chintzy stuff, like maid of honor, you know, I don't even know what. And Lauren's excited. She's happy for her. Like, yes, I would love to stand up there and be next to you guys. Like, it's not a little awkward, like knowing that this man has like slept with your best friend, your person, like that I don't want to, okay, I'll keep it clean. But yeah, no. Anyway, all of, you know, Lauren's like support just, you know, only makes April feel bad that Roy can't be just as happy for her the way Lauren is because, you know, he's her best friend. Like, why can't he just like be there and be a part of it? She really doesn't get it. Like, can somebody explain it to her? Somebody tries to later, but we'll get there in a moment. Okay, so later on, a few days later, April goes wedding dress shopping with Lauren, her person in life, and her daughter Haley. And she's trying on dresses, you know, they're drinking champagne, and Lauren, you know, shares with the shop girl, like, oh, you know, if you didn't know, funny story, like, I'm her maid of honor, but I'm also like her husband that she's gonna marry, you know, I'm his ex-wife. And the shop girl's just like, okay. And Lauren goes into all the details, like, yeah, they were our neighbors, we moved in, you know, her and her husband were living there, and then, you know, my husband and her got together. We got divorced. Now, you know, Jerry Springer shit, basically. And the shop girl's like, okay. And by the way, she just got a tattoo with her ex-husband, Roy. And, she's showing to the shop girl, and the shop girl's just like telling the camera, like, this story, it just gets crazier and crazier. Just when you think you've heard it all, no, there's just a little bit more. And, she thinks it's odd that April would get a tattoo, a matching tattoo with her ex-husband. And she suspects that April is still in love with Roy. No, she's not still in love with Roy. I think she's very much in love with John, her new husband. I don't know, she just kind of wants to hold on to Roy. Like I said in my last review, she just doesn't want to be the bad guy. She wants everybody to kumbaya and just like forget the dirty details of how her and John came together, which was essentially she cheated on her husband while he was deployed and he didn't even have an opportunity to fight for the marriage. That's the truth of the matter that she doesn't ever really want to talk about. Anyway, the shop girl's like, oh, crazy story, whatever. So they all sit down, after the dresses have been tried on to drink their little champagne. And Haley asks her mom, April, so Roy, is he gonna come to the wedding? And April tells her, no, I told him about it and he just doesn't want any part of it. He doesn't want to be there. And Haley says, well, I kind of get it. And April's like, well, I don't. I don't get it at all. We're best friends. And Haley's like, no, but I mean, maybe I could understand, he wouldn't want to be there for the ceremony, seeing his ex-wife, who I think he's still in love with, marry another man, the man that stole her away. Yeah, it would be kind of hard. But again, April's just like, no, I don't get it. It just worries her because she feels that when he does finally move on and he does find somebody, and I hope to God he does, he deserves a good, loyal woman who loves him. And that's what I want for him. I hope he doesn't really believe that she's ruined him for all other women. I mean, not all women are like April. And I'm not saying she's this horrible, terrible person, but not all women cheat. I'm not trying to be hard on April, but like I said, this is her third marriage. Well, technically her fourth, because she's marrying John for the second time, but it's like I was saying, April's worried that when he does move on, as I was saying, she's afraid that he's just going to forget about her and Roy are just going to be a thing of the past. You already are a thing of the past. You made him a thing of your past. Why can't he move on? I don't think that would be unreasonable, unnatural. Yeah, let him move on. And Haley's quick to jump in no, he would never, he would never back burn us for somebody else. Well, no, Haley, he won't back burn you and your brother, but he sure as hell will back burn mama quick when he finds a good woman who will love him and treat him the way he needs to be treated. As he should. I mean, I guess, April's trying not to back burn Roy. I guess by keeping him on the stove, on the burner. I don't know. I think Roy needs to really cut those financial ties, get off the deed to the house, get off those checking accounts, maybe move to California or, off of the same street, start dating. He's not going to get over, it's one of those situations. You're not going to get over April if you're always hanging around. You need to be a little out of sight and out of mind. So, like I said, Haley tells her, no, he's never going to backburn you. He's always going to be around to some degree for the kids, but not for April. And like I said, she just doesn't want to let go of Roy, and I don't really know why. And she even tells the camera, she still just is so surprised by how devastated he is and how hurt he is. she just can't get over it. Well, of course, he loved you. You broke his heart. You cheated. He couldn't fight. Somebody explain it to her, because I don't think Haley got through to her. And now she's just wondering if she's made the right choices. Well, it's done. You made your choice. This is where you are now. You're with John. You can't go back. You can't make everybody be best friends. I mean, although it seems to be working with Lauren, your person. I don't know what it is that bugs me so much about her, but she bothers me. I think because it's just let him go. I think that's I want her to let Roy go. Is it admirable that she doesn't want to totally financially ruin him? Yeah, okay, that's good. That's nice of you. But you need to let him go. Be supportive of him meeting somebody else. Tell him it's okay to move on. Like I said, she wants her cake. She wants to eat it too. She wants to be the good guy. She wants them all to be best friends and it all be normal, but there's nothing normal about this. Just saying. But what do you guys think? Honestly, I want to know what you guys think. Am I being too harsh on her? I don't like her. I just don't like her. And it's not a personal, I don't like it. I don't like it. Anyway, that was it. That's the episode. Rate, comment, subscribe if you like. Let me know what you think of these couples, these segments. I think we're getting close to the end. I mean, this is the first season, and usually first seasons of shows only get maybe like 8 to 10 episodes. We're on 6, so maybe we'll get a couple more. Thanks for always watching and tuning in, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.